Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. In this video we're going to have a look at a wildcard team for game week 10. So we're not just looking at the fixtures coming up, we're looking at sort of medium and long term. Who are the best players to pick? Who would we put in our wildcard teams? Please don't forget to subscribe, click on that like button, let's jump into it. First of all then, starting off in goal we have Foster. There's no real plan to play Foster. He is the cheapest playing goalkeeper in the game, so he is just got to be the obvious choice as backup and for cost. Raya's the man that I would go for. Just looking at those fixtures, they've got some wonderful fixtures coming up for the next 7 game weeks, so he's a sort of set and forget up until Christmas or so. 4.6 million, he is cheap. The other options would be someone like Ramsdale or Sanchez. I think I would, just for the fixtures, prefer Ray. As you can see, his expected goals conceded is just over 1 a game. They're actually conceding just under 0.9. So he's getting an average of just over 4 points for every game he plays. He's got good saves potential as well. Fixture-wise, they haven't been that kind with the Liverpool, the Chelsea game, West Ham away. So they've not kept many clean sheets recently. But I'm backing Raya for the next 7 fixtures. I think he will outscore Ramsdale and Sanchez. And for that reason, he's in my side. Looking at the defence then, we have Reece James and Ben Chilwell. 5.5, 5.8. They have some great fixtures. We know just how good that Chelsea defence is in any way, no matter who they play. But those two just offering phenomenal attacking returns. Chilwell scored in 3 straight league games. That doesn't even include the England game he scored in. Reece James, off the back of now coming back to full fitness, he seems the more nailed of the two. He doesn't seem to have quite as much competition on that right hand side as Chilwell does with Alonso, but both have great fixtures. I think when you're picking any Chelsea defender, you're just going to have to accept that there's going to be games when they're going to get rotated. I would expect, however, one if not both those to play most of the time. Reece James then and Chilwell absolutely nailed on for me. Look at those XIGs, expected goal involvements per 90 minutes. 0.59 for James. Chilwell surprisingly low really, if I'm honest, 0.32, but that's still really good. As outscoring midfielders in terms of his expected goals. Then we have Cancelo. I think Manchester City, you've got to have someone involved in that Manchester City defence. Their fixtures aren't as appetising as Chelsea's, but having said that, they can keep clean sheets against anyone, as we know. Just a couple of tough games coming up. Cancelo offers probably the most nailed-on person in that Man City defence, and he does offer the most attacking potential as well. But again, you have to take and accept that some of these players are going to get rotated. Alexander-Arnold then, he doesn't need too much talking about. He has been phenomenal this season. Look at those attacking return potentials, 0.55. Tough games coming up. However, do think he's got to be an absolute must-have in your side. Livramento then, he's in. I think he's gone up priced to 4.2. He showed his attacking returns at the weekend as well, scoring for Southampton. Again, he's someone I don't mind having on the bench. He's a real enabler, but he does offer some attacking potential, and he has had clean sheets this year. So for me, for the cost, he's a no-brainer. But that would be my back 5. Looking at the midfield then, Kovacic will be the first one. He got a couple of assists this weekend. He is a really good bargain midfielder. He's in that Chelsea side, obviously. So anyone involved with those fixtures for Chelsea, you want to be on. Kovacic is a player I think that is up for negotiation. He's not something I would absolutely have to have in that side. So we may look at the different options later on. But his goal involvement is good. It'll be mostly in assists that he's looking at, but 0.41. And just by being part and parcel of that Chelsea midfield, I do think he's got good attacking potential. Gallagher, difficult game this week against Man City, but after that, he has some nice fixtures. He has proven to be a really important cog in that Crystal Palace midfield, so I really like him. He's sort of dried up on the goal returns recently, but 0.6, he still has the stats to back up the fact that he is quite a useful player to have in there, and 5.7, again, the price is good. Rafinha, flag over him. He came off against Wolves. I really would want to have him in my side, keeping close tabs on Tuchel's press conferences to see if he's fit. He obviously did tweet out and put on Instagram that he's all okay, but didn't put a timescale to when he's coming back. But great fixtures for them coming up. Mo Salah, I'm not even going to go talk through that one. He is just an absolute must-have. And then Buemo would be the last one. Famously or infamously hitting the post 6 times this season. Great fixtures coming up. A midfielder playing up front for 5.6. For a side that is scoring quite freely in every game, I think he's an absolute must-have in that midfield. Looking up front then, first of all, we have Jamie Vardy. His fixtures in the short term look okay. In the longer term, they look fantastic. He has, after the next 4 games, he has a really nice run of fixtures, which you will want to be on. So I think by having him in now, it saves your transfer further down the line. Do like him, and I like the fact that he's been rested for European games and prioritised for the Premier League. It's on penalties as well. He has been on hot form this season. His XGI, again, really good, 0.59. He's got something like 8 goal involvements in 9 games so far this season. So we just want to be on Vardy. Jesus is again another one, Manchester City. He's playing out wide, but he's getting involved with goal contributions. 0.66 is his XGI. Tough games coming up, but it is Manchester City. So I just want a Manchester City player in that side. It doesn't feel right going with just the one at the back. But again, he is another one where I think I am open to negotiation, and maybe we can tweak and fiddle around with in a minute. The other one is Ivan Toney. He's got some great fixtures coming up on penalties, absolutely nailed on for Brentford up front, and at the price, I think he is an absolute bargain. So I think he needs to be in there up front as well. So on screen is the wildcard team in its entirety from game week 10. There are a few, obviously, things that I'd like to have a tinker with right now. I do quite like that team. It is dependent on the price you've got, but this wildcard team comes in under 100 million, so you actually got $1 million left in the bank here, and depending on your value of team when you sell or activate the wildcard, you possibly will have more to play with. But let's have a look at the different tinkering options that we have. One or two things as a caveat to everything we just said. If you were not keen on Jesus, and I'm not entirely sold on him, you could have a few options by downgrading him. There's Hwang, there's Broha. I think both of those give you a lot more money. There's Josh King if you really wanted to take a punt, but I'm not convinced on the strength of one game over 2 years that he's really the real deal just yet. Hwang and Broha, bit more consistency, seem to be nailed on and scoring for their respective sides, but that frees up another couple of million. You can then look to either upgrade the likes of Kovacic, Gallagher. You could look to bring in someone like a Phil Foden. There's Mason Mount. There's possibly Havertz as a punt. You could even maybe go up to a Wan-Bissaka if you want to. But there are different options to look at. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Click on that like button. We've got some great videos coming up. Click on the links about fixtures to target game weeks 10 to 16. We've got a team review coming out shortly as well. Don't miss any of that great content. In the meantime, good luck. I hope you had a great weekend. Speak to you soon.